This is the lecture from Module 1, What is Music and What is Music Appreciation? This lecture complements the reading assignments of Part 1, Prelude 1, and Chapters 12 and 13. Let's begin with a question. What is music? And this is a question you're being asked to answer in your first writing assignment in the printed materials in your module. What is music and what is music for? And I can tell you that it's virtually impossible to give a wrong answer because music has meant many things to people throughout human history. We probably have heard music referred to as a universal language, and that's because all cultures have had and always will have music of some sort, as music exists in nature. If you think about it, bird song, the sound the wind makes blowing through a gully or through a hollow log or a reed, and many other examples, we hear musical sounds in nature. Music also exists as a natural phenomenon, a division of physics, the science that we call acoustics. Properties of music such as pitch, duration, rhythm, volume, timbre, all terms you can look up in the glossary at the back of your textbook. These characteristics have been used for millennia by composers and performers to communicate many things, to worship, to convey love, to fight battles, to honor home and country, to preserve stories, and many other things that words and gestures alone cannot do. Now, I'd like you to watch a video that will talk more about these properties of music and its ability to communicate in a way that I think you will find interesting and may communicate even more.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and teachers? Our special business today will be on the subject of waves and sound.
To make a sound, something has to vibrate, but it won't start to vibrate by itself. First, you have to hit it. Are you listening?
The nature of sound.
It's a pattern of vibrations
The nature of sound.
moving through the air to make music. Listen,
It's all a matter of vibration. You see the unifying thread. Pulses with the air drum into motion. It's all a matter of vibration.
Music changes us, inspires and moves us.
Vibrations made into intricate designs.
Music connects us to ourselves and to others. Song lies at the core of life.
the rhythm of the music. The rhythm of the music.
Science in music.
The rhythm of the music.
Music changes us, inspires and moves us.
The rhythm of the music.
Reaches all of us and unites us.
Listen, the voice that I have is governed by the frequency of my vocal cords, how my mouth is shaped, and whether I have teeth or not.
Vibration of voice box. Voice box. The nature of sound.
We live in an ocean of vibration.
Sound waves travel through the air like ripples on a pond.
The nature of sound.
We live in an ocean of vibration.
Music flows within us. It speaks for our souls.
Music keeps us in touch with this entire vibrating world, both outside and in. It is as precious as life itself.
Music connects us to ourselves and to others. Song lies at the core of life.
The rhythm of the music. The rhythm of the music.
Science in music.
The rhythm of the music.
Music changes us, inspires and moves us.
The rhythm of the music.
Reaches all of us and unites us.
The rhythm of the music. The rhythm of the music.
Reaches all of us and unites us.
So now when we hear the world around us, we know that sounds are made when something vibrates. Listen to every sound.
Music appreciation is part history class, part music class, which is not to say that you have to know anything about music to succeed in the class. On the contrary, music appreciation courses are intended for students with limited musical knowledge. But you will learn about music, specifically the music that is the product of Western civilization, and we will also talk about Western civilization throughout much of its history, about 2,000 years. Over the course of the semester, we will answer some questions and learn some skills. We'll learn why our music of today, classical, folk, jazz, blues, theater, film, rock, and many more types of music, sounds the way it does. Where does all this music come from? We will learn about how and why music affects us the way that it does, and how composers and performers speak to us through music. And we will learn how to analyze what we're hearing, how to appreciate it, and to be able to write and discuss about it. Appreciating music is not the same as liking it. Each of us likes or dislikes many types of music for a variety of reasons. Maybe the music doesn't appeal to us culturally. We may have an inherent discomfort towards certain types of sounds. For example, some people don't like very loud or very high sounds or distorted sounds. Perhaps a particular type of music reminds us of unpleasant associations or memories. Sometimes we just don't understand what the music's about. This last issue is something we can overcome through studying music that is unfamiliar. We may still not like the music, nor do we have to, but our understanding of the music, what the composer was trying to accomplish or express, how music works, can help us respect or appreciate the music, the people, and the culture that produced it, and what it may mean to other people. One of the most important things we learn from studying music in this way are the cultural values that the music, like all art, represents. There is a Greek word, aesthetikos, which means pertaining to sense perception, from which we get the word aesthetics, which is defined as the concept of the good and beautiful. Every culture in every period of history has its own set of aesthetics, and every aspect of the culture is a reflection of those cultural values. So not only will we be listening to music and learning its history, we will also try to understand the cultural values that shaped it. In this course, we start back in the ancient world, over 2,000 years ago, and move through the centuries until we finally arrive in our own time. A culture that existed hundreds, even thousands of years ago may have a few similarities to our own time, but in many ways our study will seem like we've landed on another planet. In this course, we will focus on music from the Western European tradition, the culture that evolved and spread from the region once known as the Fertile Crescent, or Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. This is pictured in the map on the slide. This land was home to many of the world's great ancient civilizations: the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Sumerians, the Chaldeans, the Phoenicians. These first Western civilizations spread their cultures, religion, language, art, trade, crafts, technology, and music west through the lands of the Mediterranean, influencing the development of Egypt, modern-day Syria, ancient Israel, Crete, Greece, most of North Africa, including Carthage, which is modern-day Libya, the Etruscans, and ultimately Rome and its enormous empire. We will work our way through the centuries to see how music in Western Europe evolved, along with Western European culture in general, creating a music system that we still use today and has influenced most of the world, while also learning from cultures around the world. After an ancient example, we will look at the Middle Ages, which we talk about as having lasted from about the year 400 to about 1450, so a little over 1,000 years. Then we will move on to the period known as the Renaissance, followed by a shorter period known as the Baroque period, then the Classical period, followed by what is essentially the 19th century, the 1800s, known as the Romantic period. Then we move into the early 20th century, which is known as the Post-Romantic and Impressionist period, and then finally into the 20th century and into the 21st century. You have 4 assignments for this first 2 weeks of class, and you will find the assignments in the 3rd module of this module group. You have a discussion, what is music for? You have 2 quizzes, one for Prelude 1 and one for Chapter 12, both from the reading assignment. And you have a listening assignment for the Song of Sikolos, which we discussed in this lecture, and you will find the recording of the music in the assignment in the module with all of the graded assignments. This then ends the lecture. We'll please move on to the assignments. Have a great 2 weeks, and please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or something's not working, anything I can do to help you be successful these first 2 weeks. Until next time.